What's up, my fellow gamers, enthusiasts, and hobbyists? What's going on? It's your boy Porter Rock 77. I'm coming back with another video, and I want to talk about two topics. If you're here for my channel for the first time, subscribe, check out my other content, check out for my podcast uh, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. But for the next 3 weeks, I'm gonna go on a little hiatus. I have some work to do, so I'll be doing a little bit of traveling, but I'll be back like the first week of July, and I'll hit you guys back up with a video and stuff like that. But anyway, subscribe to the channel and enjoy the content. But again, I want to talk about two topics. We're first topic I want to talk about is Scorpio's price or potential price. A lot of buzzwords going around of 399, 449, 499. Some people hyping 700, 800. Let's do a couple of things. It's not going to be over $600. It's because $700, $800 consoles don't sell. They just don't sell. So that's something I know Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo won't do. It's a moot point at that. You know, why release a $700 console that just won't fly off the shelf, or not even fly off the shelf, won't even come off the shelf? So you won't see $700 consoles. That's the reality. So the question is, what is the window price? So the window price, I think, is more accepted that it's going to be anywhere between $399 at the most lowest end of the spectrum to $599 at the upper end of the spectrum, because that so far has been the range of what consoles have been released. You know, the PS3 released at $600, Xbox One released at $500, you know, and then now, you know, consoles are being released at $400, and then we've seen consoles released at $300, but Scorpio's not going to go that low. All right, so the lowest it could go is $400, which is what the PS4 and the PS4 Pro launch with. And so for the highest this gen has been $500. So the odds of Scorpio being $600, I don't really see it, because we already seen how that story plays out when consoles come out at $600. Is it possible? Yeah, it could be possible. Is it something Microsoft probably wants to do? I probably don't think they want to do that. Because again, we already seen that story. We already seen that movie of what happens when you release a $600 console. So the two likely prices are $339, or three likely prices, $399, $449, or $500. That's really the window we're looking at right now. Now, a lot of momentum, a lot of movement, a lot of conversations on YouTube are saying that Microsoft has to release the Xbox Scorpio at $399. That's an interesting statement. They have to release the Scorpio at $399. That's what some content creators are saying. And my question is, why do they have to release at $399? What is the have to part? Because in reality, yes, PlayStation is the market leader. And why are they the market leader? Is it because of the Pro? No. Sony just recently released that out of 5 PlayStation sold, 1 is a Pro. So for every 1 Pro that's sold, 4 PS4 Slims are sold. So why is Sony the market leader? It ain't the Pro. So you're telling me a $399 Scorpio's gonna outsell a $249 Pro? I mean a $249 Slim? I'm sorry, a $249 Slim? It's not. It's not gonna outsell a Slim. So again, where's this have to be $399 at? There is no have to. All right. Microsoft still has a cheap and affordable Xbox One for those who want a cheap, affordable Xbox One. If the thought is people want to play 4K, but they want to buy 4K at $250, that's not the answer. That's not, 4K is not the mass consumer affordable price yet. It's not at that point. Yeah, some TVs are affordable, but 1080p TVs are still even cheaper. 4K is a growing movement, but it's not a grown movement. All right. Not saying that people won't eventually get 4K, but it's 2017, people. Half of America don't have 4K TVs right now. It's not that big. It's getting bigger. And I think the adoption will be faster than 1080p. I can see that. But there is no have to be at $399 because it's not going to outsell the Slim even at a $399 price point. So that's a moot point in itself as well. So that factor ain't really. So the next question, it has to be $399 if Microsoft wants back their market share. But then that goes back to the first point. Is it going to outsell the PS4 Slim to gain back that market share? Highly unlikely. So then what's the real factor of the $399 price point? My opinion, right, and this is just my opinion, it comes down to how much did it cost to make. If the product was manufactured and shipped and all that stuff, and it ends up being $350 per console, then yes, I could see it being a $399 price point. But I don't see this thing being built for $350. Not with all the stuff that's customized and is embedded. That's not a $350 built product. I mean, let's look at the PS4 Pro right now. PS4 Pro has came out last year, and it might get a price drop to where you can sell the Pro for $350. So you mean to tell me the Scorpio is only $50 more than the Pro with all that extra hardware, a much more advanced CPU, customized CPU, a much more customized GPU, DX12 hardware embedded technology, is able to stream 4K 60, an extra 4 gigs of RAM? That alone marks up the price. And a more higher end hard drive, because traditionally the console's hard drive is 5400 RPM. Scorpio's gonna come out with 7200 RPM. So a better hard drive, more RAM, more DX12 hardware components, highly customized CPU, and a highly customized GPU for only 50 extra bucks over the Pro. Yeah, that ain't it. That ain't it. Yeah, that's a pipe dream at this point. That's a pipe dream. For those who think, well, Microsoft could set all the loss and make it back on software. They could. The only problem is shareholders don't do that no more. That's an old, archaic philosophy that was done generations ago. No one does that anymore. That strategy is done. Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, they're not going back to that. Nintendo, I don't think ever did that. Sony used to do that. They're not doing that no more. Those days are over. Shareholders don't want to hear that you're going to release a new product and it's going to be sold at a loss in hopes that the software will make up the difference. They don't want to hear make up the difference. They want to hear going forward. This is the third generation of an Xbox console. The first generation with the OG Xbox, Microsoft invested $4 billion. They lost $4 billion, but that was to them the initial investment to get the brand going. And they figured with 360, they will make it back up and get ahead of the curve. But they got stumped because of the RRD, the Red Ring of Death. So they had to reinvest another $3 billion just so they could keep up with a 3-year warranty plan. So that was something that was unexpected. This gen is profit across everything, from hardware to software, peripherals to services. It's just build more money. They don't want to hear that they're losing money off of every selling product. And keep in mind, this is not Microsoft's number one product, not even close. So how do you convince shareholders that this is the strategy to do when you're not even the number one product in your company, not even top 3, if that? Phil Spencer, I guarantee, did not have that conversation at all. He's not even having that conversation of selling at a loss. That conversation is not even on the table. He didn't even bring that up. Scorpio will be sold for profit. Now, granted, the money is in software. That's where all the money's in. But that doesn't mean you have to lose in another part of your company. He's providing growth and money in every aspect of Xbox to his shareholders. Plain and simple. So don't expect Microsoft to sell this console at a loss. It's not going to happen. And because of that, I think the only two viable options is $449 or $499. And in my opinion, it's $499. You got to pay what you want. You know what I'm saying? You get what you pay for. Ever heard that phrase? That's what you get for. All right. I know Xbox enthusiasts, Xbox, people who prefer Xbox wants to see Microsoft do great. I think everybody generally does, as long as you're not a fanboy or hateful. Want all gaming companies to succeed to a certain level. Um, but I think this is about trying to outsell the PlayStation 4. That's really what the 399 is. Let's be honest. That's what the 399 conversation really is. It's really about outsell the PS4. It's not about being successful. Because if Microsoft tells you, hey, at 499, yeah, we're not selling a lot of consoles, but every console being sold for profit, it helps Microsoft's revenue, and it's still growing the fan base slowly. Well, that's not going to be acceptable among the community because they don't want to hear that. They want to see Microsoft win NPDs. That's really what it comes down to it. That's really why the thought of, oh, Microsoft has to be 399. All right. That's really what the conversation is about. But the problem is, again, if you want to win NPDs, you have to sell to the casuals. And the casuals aren't paying $399 for consoles when you could get one for $250. That's just reality. And Microsoft knows this. Even Phil Spencer said himself the Xbox One S is going to outsell the Scorpio. That's going to be the primary selling Xbox console. So why would you undercut yourself when you know the Scorpio is not going to be the number one seller anyway? You know what I'm saying? It's the underdog of being a top seller. It's too expensive to be the top seller at this point in the gauge. Even at $399, it wouldn't be the top seller because you have consoles. I mean, think about it. At $399 and you buy one game, you still even at $399, you still need $500. You still need to walk into the store with $500, even if it launched at $399, because you're gonna pay $399 for a console. You're gonna buy at least one game, one brand new game, which is $60, and then let's say you get a $30 Xbox Live subscription for a year. It was on sale or something. That's $490. So you still need $500 to start out with. While let's say like a Xbox One S or a PlayStation 4 Slim, they're like $250, and some of them come with a game in a box already. Like the PlayStation 4 Slims this holiday, it's gonna come with Destiny in the box already. It's gonna have Call of Duty in the box already. It's gonna have Battlefront 2 in the box already, and we'll probably see a continuation of the Uncharted bundle, or it might get replaced with like a Horizon Zero Dawn bundle, or you'll see a Gran Turismo 6 bundle or something like that. So they're $250 with a game already, and then you pay $30-$40 for a PSN Plus subscription. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking $300, maybe $320 to get started on one console, while the other console you need $500, and that's assuming you even have a 4K TV. That's another factor. Now, of course, people are gonna say you don't need a 4K TV. Yes, but I don't think I'm gonna pay $400-$500. The reason why it's a $400-$500 console is because it has to do 4K. It's not being built for 1080p. Because if it was just strictly for 1080p, it wouldn't cost this much. You can build a cheaper console that can max out 1080p. No, it's $400-$500, and I think it's going to be $500. It's $500 because of 4K. It's not $500 because of 1080p. So people are not going to pay that much, you know. The current consoles that we have, Xbox One S and PlayStation 4, they're perfectly good consoles, and the graphics are good. Everything's good about it, and it's affordable, and you get more bang for your buck. You see what I'm saying? So Microsoft knows this. Phil Spencer ain't stupid. He knows what he's doing, in that regard. So don't expect to see an announcement $399 mic drop. I think you're setting yourself up for failure. Be realistic. The hardware is highly customized, lots of stuff in the box, and it's supposed to perform. All right. You guys are not gonna get a high-end Mercedes Benz at a Toyota Corolla price. Cut it out. All right. So my prediction is going to be $499, $500. Which, I mean, fuck. Excuse my language. Didn't they release a 2 terabyte Xbox One S for $399? And that's just, and it's only $399 because all they had was an extra terabyte of hard drive space, and that thing was $400. So imagine this thing. So anyway, so that's my first topic. My prediction $499, and I think it's reasonable. It's going to hit the market it's supposed to hit. It's not the mass market. It's not the mass consumer market. It's not the mass casual market. It's the high-end enthusiast who's into technology, who wants the highest-end consoles available, and primarily the Xbox enthusiast. You know, Gamers who prefer to play on Xbox and they want the best Xbox experience. That's the audience. That's the small crowd. That's really it. Right? The next topic I want to talk about is a comparison between the two E3s. Who's going to be better? That's going to be a hard question to answer. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this E3 has each company has a different mission for this E3. And I know the general is to push out information in gaming. Sony, well, I'll start off with Microsoft. Microsoft, this E3 has to talk about hardware. All right, they have to. They have to talk about the Scorpio, and there's potential they might talk about other devices, such as, VR, AR. This has to be explained, and then they have to show examples of what these devices can do. For Scorpio, they're going to show games running in 4K. If Scorpio makes your other games look better, they're going to have to demonstrate that too. So there's going to be some time on explaining the device, explaining how the device looks. So they'll show it on stage. They're going to talk about the features of the device too. Features that's not available on the Xbox One S, if that's the case. Like the 4K streaming and stuff. They're going to have to show that too. If the Scorpio has other things that's different than the Xbox One S, maybe like a dashboard or something, they're going to have to explain that too. So there's a lot of features and hardware conversations that's going to be talked about. And now we know that the Microsoft presentation is 97 minutes. So within that 97 minutes, they're going to have to talk about the hardware. They're going to have to talk about the price. They're going to talk about what does the hardware do. And they're going to have to show how the games look. And if the hardware makes your games look better at 1080p and stuff like that, and how does it do it, they're going to have to explain that too. So there's a lot of explanation that's going to go behind the Scorpio. If they add in AR, VR, they're going to have to explain that too. Possibly explain the price. When does it come out? Same thing with Scorpio. Price. When does it come out? Show the games and stuff. From third party, first party, whatever projects they are. So they're going to have to do that too. Then they're going to have to talk about the games we already know. Crackdown, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2. Maybe Cuphead. We Happy Few. So those are games we already know about. And they're already 2-3 years old. Except for State of Decay 2. That's only been in a 1-year announcement. But they're going to have to talk about that. The release dates, the progress. Crackdown 3, they're probably going to have to cover cloud technology again. So they may have to talk about that again and cover that down. Then they're going to show some third-party titles. And then who knows from there, So hardware and explanation behind the hardware, it's going to take up a significant amount of time. In contrast, the Sony E3 doesn't have those restrictions. Well, I wouldn't say restrictions. They don't have those stipulations unless they plan to announce a Vita, a handheld. Then that changes certain things. But I don't think they're going to announce a handheld because they haven't been generally successful on that front. And they don't have any more hardware to talk about. Everybody knows about the VR. Everybody knows about the PlayStation Pro. So there's nothing else that's left. There is no hardware. So their show's about 97 minutes, an hour and a half as well. 90 minutes, give or take. So without hardware, what do you talk about? Well, you talk about software. So they're going to talk about the games we already know about. They're going to elaborate on God of War. Kojima already said he's not going to be at E3, so scratched off the list. All right, so something else has to take its place. They're going to talk about Spider-Man, Gran Turismo. I would imagine Uncharted Lost Legacy because it releases in August. Shenmue won't be there, so that takes up so another game takes up its slot. Obviously, we're going to have the third-party marketing deals, so you're going to see Destiny and Battlefront and Call of Duty. So that's 3 games right there. And when you think about it, what else? They're going to have to show a lot more, they're going to have to show a lot more titles. So 90 minutes with no hardware talk, that's a big show or big window where you have to fill in with games. And Sean Layden of Sony already said that there's not going to be much talking. They're not going to talk about a lot of, they're not going to talk about stats and sales and just fluff. He says there's very little talking in their presentation. It's mostly game oriented. So hour and a half of a lot of games with very little hardware talk, you're talking a huge amount of content. So the two E3s is going to be primarily one E3 is like all software or 95% software, while the other one is a mixed bags of hardware and some software. And that's where the two differ. So now the question is which one is better? It depends on which of the spectrum you're on as an enthusiast, as a gamer. If you're looking forward to Scorpio and you're gonna buy Scorpio, or you're very interested in Scorpio, chances are for you, and I'm already calling it now, you're gonna think Microsoft E3 is better because it has the one thing that the Sony E3 conference won't have, which is the hardware you want. Chances are you don't want the Pro. You want something better, more powerful, stronger, because that's what you initially want. And going after, Microsoft E3 is going to cater to you. And you're going to like the E3 better because it got the one thing, the main thing you want. But if you're primarily a gamer that is interested in not more hardware, but wanting to see the games that you're going to get on the hardware you already own, because you're not going to buy more hardware. You already got the hardware that you want. Now you want to see the games. You know, that's the type of gamer you are. And chances are the Sony conference is going to be more expensive to you because that's what it's going to deliver. It's just going to deliver content for the platforms and devices you already own. Because again, they're not going to rehash VR. You know, they'll show games in VR, but they're not going to rehash how VR works and stuff. That's already done with. They're not going to rehash and talk about Pro again. All that's done with. They're just going to show the content that supports the devices. So if you look at that E3, you're going to be like, man, they showed nothing but content for the devices I own, or, you know, then that's the E3 to go to. So that's really how it's going to split between the two. Those who want Scorpio and plan to buy new hardware, chances are they're going to favor Microsoft E3's conference because that's what that conference is going to do. But for those of you who already own a device and not interested in buying more devices, you just want to be supported with a device that you already own, you'll probably notice the Sony E3 fits that bill. You know, even if you're a Microsoft fan and let's say you only own an Xbox One S, Microsoft has to be real careful not cheating out Xbox One S owners or vanilla Xbox One owners. Because if you look at E3 and most of the talk is about Scorpio and how the games run and play on Scorpio with no consideration on how Xbox One and Xbox One S owners get out of it, they could feel cheated like this E3 is not really for me. It's for Scorpio guys. You know, especially the VR. That's really going to sting, I think, because that's going to be a device you can't play on the Xbox One S. So you won't get to enjoy that experience or even have the opportunity to even try because the device needs the power that Scorpio has. So a lot of Xbox One S owners and vanilla Xbox One owners, VR is not for you. You don't get that experience. And I think that's going to rub a lot of Xbox One owners the wrong way if they weren't interested. Because they're going to look at PlayStation and be like, well, PlayStation was able to provide VR to all of their devices. The vanillas, the slims, and the pro. Yet on my side of the platform, I have to get a $400, in my opinion, $500 Scorpio. That might rub some Xbox gamers the wrong way, you know? So again, if it's all about getting supported with the device you already own, I think the Sony E3 conference is going to fit that bill or that narrative, while Microsoft's narrative for their E3 is going to be new hardware, and let's explain it, and let's show it, and there we go, you know, with a few more games, but I think it's going to be very Scorpio focused. But anyway, those are my two opinions on that. Those are the two topics I want to talk about. Hit up my comment section. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think about the price. Realistically, what you realistically think it's going to be. But anyway, this is your boy Puerto Rock 77. I'm out. Thank you for spending this little time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check me out tomorrow. I'm gonna do a live broadcast. I'll be doing live reaction to the Microsoft E3 press conference. I won't be able to do the Sony one because I'll be traveling at that point. So it's gonna be shameful. And tune in for my post E3. It's gonna be late. It's gonna be like in July when I get back. But I'll do some videos on my opinions on the E3 and let it fester. But anyway, thanks for rocking out with me. This is your boy Puerto Rock 77, and I'm out. Hey, you guys have a great weekend and take care. Enjoy some gaming time, all right? Join friends, family, and gaming. Take care. Peace.